and community, made for you, of course, by Millennial Force.
Okay, this is our new website, everybody.
For humans, we're not AI. This was a real people.
Us writing it and making it pretty.
And that's the studio that we record podcasts in here where I am right now.
Yes, my house. It's kind of the home of Millennial Force. The home of Millennial Force, a growing community based in unconditional love and uncompromising truth, embracing all who wish to walk into the Aquarian age together. Xanthia's thing is building community, and my thing is helping people with healing come together to build community that is based on achieving a state of 100% positive polarity, which means you're ready for the future that's not going to support any kind of negative polarity, what I call frequency magnets. You can also look at it like it's trash. All the behavior that you see, that you do, and the interactions and the responses that you don't like, that's all being driven by subconscious behavior. The healing process requires you to have unconditional love, which means no conditions on it. It was 100% love you anyway, no matter what, how fast it happens. If it doesn't happen, doesn't matter. The love is still there. Therefore, you can handle the uncompromising truth. And this is what the creator is. It's a combination of the two. I have spent the last 18 years achieving this state. This is cosmic love and truth. Everyone needs to be putting their efforts into to be able to walk into the Aquarian age without distress. That's what's coming, is an increasing amount of distress being felt in the body of every human being. And the only reason why you feel the distress is because planets moving up in frequency, and those lower, darker, heavier frequencies that are embedded emotionally in your mental energy body are going to cry louder.
I love astrology. I've done my own training in it for many years now. Aquarius is all about the mind. It's an air sign. So your thoughts are going to drive you crazy until you clear it and make them coherent with your values and your everyday actions.
And being on this line of truth, I call it the line of truth, is the unconditional love and the uncompromising truth in combination, and not allowing anything else to come through you other than that means you have to clean up. You got to clean up your subconscious mental base. And the way that I help people do that is through the Earth method. It's a method that I've developed through practice on myself, practice on with other people, and having success and altering my practice and my methodology so that I have success. I'm a teacher first and foremost, and my definition of teaching is that my student learns. I'm not a lecturer. The ability of a true teacher is to do whatever you have to do to make sure your student learns what they present their need is. Sometimes they don't know what their need is. Sometimes they present something but they don't really understand their need, so you need to help them understand what their true need is, and then you need to help them fulfill that need. If you're interested in that, you can contact via Xanthia, and she will do pre-assessment that I've directed her in doing, and she's my apprentice. So she's involved in the whole process of the Earth method with clients at this point before she is skilled up to do her own if she wishes. That's the first port of call with that. We have some WhatsApp groups that you can connect to, which is really cool. There's a public announcement one. There's the community talking to each other. You got to be in unconditional love and uncompromising truth. So your truth that you speak has to be loving. So remember that, everyone. And if you present truth that is not unconditionally loving, I will let you know.
So can you give an example of both?
You could just have it as your opinion and your judgment, and that's conditions on love. Thinking about yourself. But if you're telling the truth because you feel they need to understand something, then the way that you say it is going to be for their benefit, and it's not going to be hard, it's not going to be rough, and you're going to take into account where they're at. Everyone also has to understand that unsolicited advice is not unconditional love. It's just not. You got to respect people's boundaries. This is the Indigenous protocol. You need to ask permission. If you say, I have something I want to share with you, it's about this, would you give me permission to share it with you? And they say yes, and you share it with all your heart involved, then you're pretty safe. It is a process of learning. What we're going to talk about now, very briefly, is our core value. You understand more about what the community is based on, so the foundation of the community. So these are not rules. I treat them like rules for me. I apply them to me as rules. It's an applied philosophy. It's putting a philosophy into action. It's walking the talk. And this is the talk. I walk the talk, and Xanthia is learning to walk the talk. We're hoping that writing these these core values is going to help people be guided into a much more peaceful, beautiful life in the coming age. The first one is desire to know of cosmic love and truth.
How hungry are you to really live in that flowing, loving, harmonious, creative way? I can say that your soul is craving that. Ego that tries to tell you that you don't. My soul wasn't as loud as yours was, Joe, if you want to share your story about your desire.
Oh, my ego was pretty loud in the beginning. My beginnings to connect with cosmic love and truth were out of absolute desperation. I just saw my life become, everything that I built in my life became irrelevant because one person made one decision and acted on it. And it just showed me that there was something I did not understand. And I didn't have enough energy to recreate a different version of the same thing. Decided to put my energy into figuring out what I didn't understand and see if I could understand something different and then build from that. And I also, at the same moment of promising that I'll do whatever I'm told and I won't direct my life. I'll just do what I'm told. It did take me 10 years to stop fighting back of what I was told, but everyone has their process. And I didn't have a me, the trailblazer. I was led to go here and go there and learn from this person and learn through that experience, etc. And so it took me a lot longer. And I was in an environment that wasn't supporting of healing. No one understood what emotional healing was. So no one knew what I was doing. I was just weird. Just leave her over there. And I didn't really talk to people who gave me the signals that I'm weird. So I just isolated myself and figured things out. Xanthia's experience is rather different to my experience, and everyone's experience is just, it just is what it is. If you can find within yourself a desire to truly know of rather than know about. So this is knowing about. Knowing of is down here. And it's a process. Humility as contribution. So let me read this to you because it kind of sums it up. Sure, our services, products, and events, they cost money. Yet, that is only the physical contribution a person makes. Money is the payment made for a person's time and expertise. You know, everybody got to eat, everybody pay rent, all that sort of stuff. Energy has to shift around and move around. But what's the payment for healing? It's humility. So I charge money. The Creator charges humility. If your ego is not humbled to sit aside while you connect with the Creator and allow the strength, the power, and the truth and the love of the Creator to come in and help you heal, then it won't work. If you don't pay the Creator's price, it just won't work. So if you can find a way to humble your ego CEO, which is another term that I made up, if your ego is the CEO of your life, you're going to have to demote your ego. You'll have a faster time in the healing process, and your contribution to our community will more likely flourish. So our community is not ego driven. It's just not. We are not money hungry. We're not hungry for status or recognition. We're hungry to help people. We're hungry to be the place effectively helps people free their soul from this programmed egoic state of creation. I've never been in a healing session with someone where their ego is left at the door and we don't resolve the problem that they present. To the point that clients come, they come once, they come with what they think is the problem, and then I track it back to the original source of that problem, which solves a whole lot of issues in their life. Then they forget about me because their life is good, so they're on with their life. I'm not one to create a client list. I want to help them. If you go, next one, you know why? Because there's so many people that need this help, and I would rather help 1,000 people than 10 really slowly. 1,000 people is really quick. 10 people over the same amount of time. I want to help more people because the way that I work with the Earth Method is an emotionally driven process to heal. Modern day therapies teach you about things. They don't help you with the actual healing process. You're still left to do that on your own, and there's no information of how to do it. I really am in this life to help people have their autonomy back, the soul, be free from the mind virus. Okay, so commitment to positive polarity. This is difficult languaging for some people. If you've come from biblical background of language, you'll say it's the spirit of God and the spirit of the demonic spirit. It's the difference between white and black, light and dark. we currently live in a very polarized world where it's on or it's off. It's this or it's that. We're moving into there's this and there's that. There is black and there's white, or there's white and there's black, and everything in between. Starting to come into a time where it's not just the ends of the scale that we're looking at, but we're looking at all the gradings in between. It's a more complex time. It's also, we're coming into a less judgmental time because we appreciate that all of it exists and everything is moving and it's in flow. And so rather than judging people for not getting there, we don't judge people. We appreciate where people are and where they're moving. We try to help people with that movement.
Will be the
So
dark.
positive polarity is one end of the scale, and negative polarity is the other end of the scale. And it's much more peaceful when in your body is in positive polarity. It feels good. It feels peaceful. It feels like home. It feels like the creator. This is 100% positive polarity, is the creative life force of the universe. In our active commitment to the future of our community as a whole and individual parts, we encourage ourselves and our members towards positive polarity in thought, aware or not, word and action, each and every day. So it's not a judgment of whether you're perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect. We're all heading towards the same goalpost, and we're all taking on the responsibility to help each other do that. So it's never ever a judgment that I'm closer to the goalpost than you. I'm standing with the goalposts compared to Xanthia is not yet standing at the goalpost. Does that matter? No, I take the responsibility to point out to Xanthia that she's going a little bit the wrong direction. Hey, come over here now. And this is how you do it. Hey, you're going a little bit the wrong direction now. Come back over here now. So I'm just trying to keep Xanthia in the direct path, and her movement forward is her movement forward. In a really short period of time, she was very far away from the goalposts and heading in slightly different directions. And now she's tightened in the path. So there's only tiny little movements off the path, and she's come a long distance towards where I am. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. With the right kind of assistance, you can move closer and closer to those goalposts. The communities and the societies and the cosmic environment that we've got to move towards.
Honor and cosmic contracts. So some might have heard this as soul contracts. That's a very common term for it. So basically what was made by your eternal life force, your soul, before you came into this life. We all have a cosmic contract. Millennial Force honors you as you commit to your sacred promise. Our support is for you to see life through a crystal clear lens. That way you are able to work towards your work in the most focused way possible. There's certain points in life that are milestones, and you know what they are when they're happening. Getting married, having kids, when you die, what family you're born into, what kind of trauma you know generally will experience, because it's all in your birth chart as well if you really want to get into it. Your soul has worked all of this stuff out already.
To honor your cosmic contract, it's really important to understand that whether you use the Earth Method assisted or whether you come into Millennial Force events so that you can be in community, be supported for your own work. Essentially, people can learn how to do the Earth Method on their own in their small communities. If you need more help, then you can come to us directly. Basically, we want to help you to get as clear, see yourself through that crystal clear lens so that you can feel and know what your cosmic contract is, and you will feel it. You can't not feel it. So when you clear away all these subconsciously compelled behaviors and obsessions of thought, when they settle down, when you become aware of them enough to go, oh, that is not what I want, you're connected enough to let it go because you feel safe enough to do so, then you get a clearer vision of what it is you're here to do, because it comes through in what is your most passionate desire. You can't ignore it because it's always there. It's underneath all these other mind virus distraction, monkey mind. There's so many names for it, but essentially it's rubbish. And you've got to learn the technique to find the rubbish, heal the wounds that cause the rubbish, and get the rubbish to be taken out. That's what you've got to learn to do. And if you find another method that helps you do that, great. but we have this method that I know works and I can help you with this method. Not to fit in with everybody else in society who doesn't have that lens, and they're all just, they feel like they do because they're all thinking the same thing, and it's really comfortable to be in alignment with the people around you. And so, yes, it's really hard to go with your soul rather than go with the crowd. We're here to create community, so it's a little bit easier. If you surround yourself with people who are honoring their soul contract, then everyone's doing that, rather than surrounding yourself by people who don't. They honor their programming contract, and you're the only one wanting to go away from that. So put yourself in the right environment, and you'll feel like you're one of the crowd. It's just a crowd of people who want to honor their soul.
The black sheep anymore. This is
Yeah, we're making a community of black sheep, right? All the black sheep together. And there are many, many communities coming to life for this purpose. So find the community that makes you feel not alone, and it makes you feel like you are actually seeing results. You're seeing the change. So got to remember that what you see on the outside of you is generated by what's inside of you. If you don't like what you see on the outside, you don't like your reactions, you don't like what you're creating, what you're attracting to yourself, you have to take the responsibility now. You can't be looking outwards and say, oh, it's their fault, their fault, their fault. No, no, no. What is it inside me that I have the power to change that attracts that to me? And when you take that responsibility and you look inside, then you are likely to find your solution. That's what we're providing, a community of people who are prepared to take on that responsibility. And the way that they take on that responsibility is by doing this, honoring our Indigenous origin. Joanna Ruth, that's me, sourced her learning and remembering through Hawaiian traditions. The lineage Joanna Ruth was guided to in 2010 is the unbroken lineage of at least 50 generations of Mana o Molokai, which was presented to me, it used to be called Mana o Kahiko, and now there are two schools with two different names. The profound original practices of Ho'oponopono, Pa'a, Pono, Aloha, and Maukau, you don't have to memorize those, have informed the Earth Method and all supporting spiritual literacy teaching. So that's what I do. I created the Earth Method. I'm a healing therapist through the Earth Method, and I also write textbooks and novels to help people increase their spiritual literacy. An alternative perspective other than the modern form our alternative perception of the world and its people. And this guides our attempt at effective practices of reconciliation and forgiveness. The only way you can have reconciliation is if you know the absolute truth of the matter. It's like spiritual bookkeeping, doing a spiritual audit. And because I have worked incredibly hard to know what the truth is when it's presented and if it's not truth. I'm like a lie detector inside my body. I'm sensitive to that. To get to reconciliation, you have to have truth, and you have to learn to forgive what you thought was truth. It's not truth. Forgive the fact that that happened. All right, here's one for you. Living in the age of Aquarius.
Living in the age of Aquarius, basically, there's cycles within cycles. Aquarian keywords are around freedom, it's around decentralized, it's around flat hierarchies, it's around technology. It's like literally the Wi-Fi waves, but it's also the water bearer, even though it's an air sign. It's also about baptism. By living in the age of Aquarius, we are wanting the leaders to rise up and create these communities like what we're doing now that are in alignment. Aquarius can also take you out and disconnect you and disassociate you from Earth, because you might be too up in the clouds. You might be thinking way too much in your left hemisphere. If you have already woken up to be here and be in the future, because the transition is happening now.
If your soul has already made the decision that you have to live the story of here, then if you have any inkling inside yourself, if you can put your distractions aside and just have a little think, have a little ponder, if I wasn't attached to my family, or I wasn't attached to my job or some other defined identity, if I was just floating around and I had a free choice to come and go, and there's no repercussions for making any of these choices, if you could ask your soul whether it wants to come into a society, a way of life that is in line with peace and love and truth, and your soul goes, oh yeah, that'd be nice, but I've got all these responsibilities and attachments and alignments over here. If you have a little inkling from your soul, just remember all of those attachments that have shoulds and oughts and musts, they're all going to be creating a lot of pressure in your system trying to keep up with all of those. Just remember what your soul told you when you asked it. If it had freedom to be living however it wanted, would it yearn for that peace and that love that's unconditional, the truth that is uncompromising? So it always brings you to the right place. If your soul says, oh yeah, wouldn't mind a bit of that, then you just have to decide the timing. Do you do it now where it's an easy step forward? You just join in, see if it really feels right in your body, and you go as fast or as or as slow as you want. Make the connection now, or you can remember us for a later time. I mean, we're always going to be here. You just have to decide how much resistance you're going to put into the situation. That's all.
And I've also heard of this age as like the new earth. You might have heard this come up a little bit too. This is all about collectives. We have to be collaborative. There's no more of this gossiping and left and right, and like we were talking about before with the duality and transparency. That's a huge one that you would have seen the series that we just did. Everything we talk about, that image is literally the front room.
It's our house.
It is us, our experiences, and we will be on the other line of that WhatsApp group.
Mostly Xanthia's experiences, because she's the millennial. I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen X person.
Yes, but
I just went first. I did the research for everyone. This is the part of the website here that is actually have this video that we're creating in there.
Exactly. So if you want to know more about my experiences
and events,
follow along on the Earth Method series on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
And join the WhatsApp group if you want to have connection with me. We're building the routine of having community Zoom chats as the community grows, and we will be answering questions that the community poses. And the way that you ask the question is you join the WhatsApp community, and there's a group in there, the public group, that you can place all your questions in there, and I will answer them either on video or I will answer them in the WhatsApp group. Just depends where we're at. The questions that are like similar questions, we will create ways for you to watch the answers that I've given to those questions, or read the answers that I've given via like a FAQs page on the website. Once that builds up, often people will want to ask the same question because they didn't know that it's already been answered. So we'll build up that resource for everyone as time goes on. But feel free to join the party when we have the weekly, monthly, chats that we can invite people to, where people get to ask their own questions live, eventually. So it's a little hard at the moment because I'm overseas working and Xanthia is in Melbourne working. So we have a time zone difference. We have to overlap different parts of our days. You got to make it work because this is a new world. They're very much a new world.
Exactly. Look forward to seeing you in the group
and meeting you all.
Healing into harmony, feeling and community, made for you, of course, by Millennial Force.